What? Don't make that face. That's not controversial. Is it controversial?
She's saying.
She's saying.
Cameras.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection
Podcast. Most consistent podcast in the world. You already know.
Why would you tell them that? We just said we weren't going to be. We're not going to even mention the C word.
Okay, don't worry about that.
Okay. Yeah. What we are going to do is catch up a little bit since we haven't been on.
Yeah, it technically, we might done a little double recording the other time, so we technically haven't been here for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I can't remember. It's been a while, but yeah, we're back and we've done a lot since we've been gone.
Yeah.
So let's catch up. What you been up to, Sara?
Well, in Amir fashion, we traveled to the same place, just in different timing.
Yeah, literally.
We did that before.
What?
When we went to Edmonton. No, you went to Vancouver, and then I went to Alberta right after.
Yeah.
So I was in Santa Barbara.
How was Santa Barbara? How was the clubhouse?
The clubhouse was fantastic. We had a
Was it
grand
now?
old bowl. We went for Hanan's bachelorette, and it honestly... I'm high key sweating.
I know, it's really hot.
So
Turning
hot.
on all the lights is not the move.
Should we just open the window? Okay, so we went for Hanan's bachelorette, and it was just Gizman and Aisha and I representing Toronto.
Yeah.
And Hanan,
after
of
like
course.
150 episodes, how are we still like...
Because her name is Gizman.
We don't know how to code switch.
I know.
We're horrible code switchers.
Like even at the house?
Yeah.
All the girls obviously knew her as Aisha, but I was like, oh, you mean Gizman?
Even me, like when I'm talking about where I went to, I went to LA too, but like still, I did the same thing. Like I referred to her as Gizman to people like outside.
But I think
house.
Most people know now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you didn't
kind
know,
of spilled the beans on that one.
like you heard it here first.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a very house name, but everyone knows at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a fun fact. If you didn't know, now you know. If you don't know, now you know.
No, I can't.
But yeah, so it was honestly, like I truly enjoyed it. First of all, we had a really nice neighborhood. Shout out to Timaj from Dallas. What's her at?
How could you forget, Sara?
Is it like Travel with Timaj or something like that? Imagine if it is.
Yeah.
Let me just look up Travel with Timaj.
My wife is in the audience again, guys.
Travel with. Oh, it's not Travel with Timaj. Huh? Timaj.travel. I will put it in the description. But she hooked it up and really helped Ziggy Hanan's sister find like the most stunning, beautiful house. And it was like huge but super cozy.
Yeah.
Like we had 9 girls in there and I did not for a second feel overcrowded at all. And Hanan just has like truly amazing friends. But it's like they mashallah, honestly, every single one of them, friends, cousins, sisters, like they made us feel comfortable because I feel like we were the outsiders.
Yeah. Why was it just you two from the outside? From
your side?
Yeah, from my side of me.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like we all bonded. It was such a great time. And like we would go on like our morning walks / runs in the
Also,
the
you
neighborhood.
go on walks with them every morning. Oh, I'm playing.
No, she was.
She
wasn't there.
You weren't there.
We let her sleep in. She's the bride.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Okay.
But like, what surprised me?
Yeah.
And I had to like check myself was like I was fully expecting like, okay, there's a bunch of hijabis in a suburban area in Santa Barbara. Like surely we're gonna get funny stares and stuff. Everyone was so nice. Like I was really surprised at how nice they were. Like we would just be on our walks and people were like, hi, good morning. And I'm like, good morning to you too.
You know why? Because they were scared. They're like, we gotta be nice to him. We don't want them bombing our corners. Our churches, I mean.
No, but even when
I don't know why I gave Californians a southern accent.
Yeah, they don't.
The worst southern accent too.
They definitely don't have that accent.
Yeah.
But we when we went downtown, like their downtown it's giving downtown Banff. Like same exact vibes.
Yeah.
And it was super cute. Like,
do they have mountain ranges there too?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I have to
Okay.
look at her like, I think I remember. Yeah, they did. They did
Okay,
have
that's cool.
mountains. Yes. Yeah. And that was a really good view. We went to what was that? A courthouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we climbed the
courthouse.
Went up the courthouse like a watchtower type of situation. Like it looked like a bell tower kind of. And like sick views. It was just, the weather was perfect. When I had first landed in LAX on the Thursday, it was so gloomy that I was just like, damn, I left Toronto because it was super rainy when I left. Yeah. I was expecting like California sun and I didn't get that the first day. But Friday, when we did the drive over, we got super lucky. The traffic wasn't so bad, but like the sun just came out the whole weekend.
The weird thing is that like I feel like Toronto and LA are opposite, where like usually Toronto's weather turns for the worse, while LA's always turns for the better. Yeah. Like that almost exact same thing happened to us on the next day, where like we were supposed to go to like a beach thing and it was raining, like hard rain for most of the morning. And like just a couple hours before we were supposed to leave, sun comes out. Really? Sunny, you know, we don't have to like bundle up or anything. It was perfect. It worked out perfectly.
It was definitely colder than I thought it was going to be, though, I'm not going to lie. Like
it definitely was chillier.
Shivering.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like t-shirt weather. Yeah. Right? But it was like, you know, you can get away with like a crew neck. Maybe a hoodie. Yeah. Like a light hoodie, not like a thick, big hoodie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like when we went in October. Yeah. It was warmer than it was this time.
It was warmer in October?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was definitely warmer then. But yeah, like it was honestly just overall a super, like just chill, like just, I really enjoyed my weekend. And then I came back and of course I got sick because like, you know, I have the best immune system if it's not. Like, I was suffering. Yeah. And you know, I told you guys that I got a new job and my boss is a millennial and she reminds me of the fact that she's like just does things that are super millennial in that type of way. So you know what she did? On Thursday, so I came back Wednesday to work. And I was like, I'm feeling a little under the weather, you know. So Thursday I decided to work from home. Yeah. And I think we were like in our morning meeting for our team. I say our team, it's three of us. The three of us are
still a team, okay?
It's still a team.
Well, technically it's a gang.
Yeah.
Because like they say 3 or more people is a gang. Whatever. It's a side thing I've heard before. Okay. It's okay. We can continue. You continue. It's all right. Yeah.
She heard my voice and she said, ma'am, why are you logged in this morning? And I said, because I've got something to present in the 11 o'clock meeting. That's why. She's like, yeah, no, I'll present it for you. Log off, please.
She is truly a millennial then.
Yeah, she really is. Yeah. And today, you know what she did?
My boss would be like, don't forget your halls.
That's crazy.
It's like, make sure you take Tylenol a couple hours before.
She was like, I love you, but the building will not burn down if you log off. And I said, you're absolutely right. Good night.
I wish they all had that same mindset.
And you know what's crazy? I actually did log off and I took a 4-hour nap.
A 4-hour? Oh, yeah. You were sick. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I woke up and I was like, what year is it?
Yeah, the disorienting.
What happened? You know, truly, like, when I tell you I was disoriented, like, both my parents were home by the time I woke up. So I said, what day is it? And they're like, did you not work? Like, what happened?
It's like that meme, what year is it?
No, literally, though. And then Friday was just one of those days where I, like, logged in. But, like,
yeah. I feel like a lot of people kind of check out on
Fridays
before like even 11 or 12 p.m. before lunch on Fridays.
Yeah.
Regular people usually check out by then.
But when you're sick on top of that, it just wasn't. And then, you know, like I nursed myself back to health. I think the reason why I got super sick like between Wednesday and Thursday was because, as you know, I'm training for the 5K. I'm going to drill this into you guys, okay? Because if we can get to our 10K subscribers, like we promised, we will have custom merch for you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to work on that.
We'll do our giveaway.
Yeah, I was supposed to join the run too, but, you know, I have a bum knee now.
Did you not sign up?
I can't. I hurt my knee.
I told Steve you signed up.
You did?
Yeah, because I thought you did.
I can still sign up, but my knee is like actually hurt my... I hurt my knee bad.
Are you going to walk it? Huh? Oh, my God.
I can do it. I think I can do it.
I think you could walk it. You could walk.
I'm not gonna walk a 5K.
Why not?
I would rather like my leg fall off before I walk a 5K.
Okay, dramatic. Like just walk it. It's fine.
I want to be with y'all.
Yeah, It's okay. We'll cheer you on when we're at the finish line.
No.
We'll be like, go, Amir, go.
I'm too competitive for that. Like I will like run my knee down to the bone with no cartilage. I can't even say that word. With no cartilage left.
It's not worth it. It's a 5K. It's not worth it.
I could finish that in 25 minutes, easy. What's your 5K time?
I haven't ran the full 5K
You haven't done the full.
No, I've
5K
been doing
yet?
my intervals. But Wednesday, I was feeling ambitious.
Yeah.
And I went out and I think I got so excited from the LA weather that I went without a jacket. And obviously it was cold here because we're in Toronto. Like, come on. And that's how I got super sick. Like I was already getting there. Yeah. And then it just like kicks, like it excelled the sickness.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past you. I thought like I would say that's crazy to just wear that, but in Toronto, at least where we live, there's a trail like right next to the building where people run. It could be like a couple degrees above zero, and you'll see people running in t-shirts and shorts.
No, so did I.
You too, right?
But I was wearing like a long sleeve.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was gonna be fine. Plus, when you're running, you get hot. Like your body heats up. But that wasn't the case.
There's only so much heat your body will generate before like that cold just takes over, or like when there's a certain threshold. I feel like a t-shirt and shorts were not ready for that threshold to be broken.
And you know what's crazy? Yeah, is when I was doing my intro running, like I wasn't dripping in sweat. Like I maybe had like a nice little glow. Yeah. But the walk back home after I finished my run, my skin was bone dry because of how windy it was. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, I really regret that.
And the issue is that like if your skin is wet, the wind blows, it gets cold, and it makes it even colder.
No, that's exactly what happened.
Because it creates a layer of like cold liquid all over your body.
That's exactly what happened. So, I'm not gonna let it get me down. I let myself recover this week. Yeah. And I'm just gonna go for my run tomorrow morning. But like also, it was like snow raining this week again. I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was
this week
on Wednesday. Did you not see it?
Wednesday. Yeah. This week.
Yes.
It was perfectly fine.
No.
Maybe on your side of the city.
I was downtown.
Oh, there was. I don't know if that was Wednesday or Thursday or something. There was one time where like it rained for like 10 seconds in our side and then it went away. But it could be because like we're on the other side of the city. The one thing about Toronto is that like the weather patterns like change by like borough. If that makes sense. So like Scarborough could have a completely different weather pattern than like Etobicoke. That's and like true. Downtown is different than like North York, or East York is different from like I don't know, Mississauga. Just GTA in general has like 5 different weather patterns.
Oh, 100%.
So I feel like you guys could be going through a whole winter snowstorm while like it's just raining in another part of the city.
I swear, like the morning it was like gray and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever, rain. But then when I like finally looked out the window, I'm like, those are pretty big raindrops. Like, what is that?
Probably frozen rain or something.
Yeah, it was like sleet. Is that what it's called? Oh,
but we never got that. No one saw that. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
Anyways, how was LA for you?
LA was
fun. We missed each other. It was like one of these.
Yeah. So I went to LA for a wedding. And
how long were you there?
I was only there for like 72 hours. I got there Friday night and I left Monday.
Oh, I was there longer than you?
Yeah, you were there much longer than me.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so like I went in and yeah, like I mentioned, the first day was just a beach day. So, it was chill. You go to the beach. That's the thing. The main thing we were scared of was the weather, because I was looking up the weather ahead of time. I was messaging my wife, or Hanan, saying like, yo, what should I wear? Like, what should I bring? Because I'm a person who likes to pack efficiently.
Amir brings exactly what he needs. Yeah. The life of a boy.
Hey. Y'all can do it too, okay?
No, you can't. Hanan, have you ever packed for a trip?
When there's a will, there's a way. When
you're a girl, life happens.
Okay, nah, you're just making excuses.
No, it's a literal. If you're a girl or a woman watching this, tell me if you've ever gone on a trip and you've packed exactly what you're gonna wear, and worn every single thing that you packed.
Yeah, it's called planning. Okay, something maybe they didn't do.
Amir,
I'm just saying, or y'all don't do if that's happening.
Can I show you my notes app? I literally have pictures of me in my outfits. I plan to a T.
Yeah, if you plan to a T, then you should have enough outfits.
But you always have backups.
Okay, there's always. I had a backup too. I had a backup too.
Okay, so you didn't pack like everything that you wore.
No, efficiently means that you should have a backup. That's to be efficient. Is it not?
Okay, if you go, can I ask you a question?
What?
If you go on a 6-day trip,
yeah,
how many underwear are you packing?
Oh, I pack at least one for each day and then one extra just in case.
Only one extra?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why not? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if like there's a real emergency, I can always just go to the store and buy more. Or if I'm in a place like a home or something, I can always just wash them. Right? Exactly. So it's like you're never really that desperate. You know?
Whatever.
We live in a modern society, guys. Okay, we can quickly go out and clean stuff or clean the place that you're at. So that's always an option. I'm just saying, right?
I don't know. I saw a TikTok saying like, if I'm going on a 3-day trip, I'm packing 7 underwear.
See, that's excess. That's not efficiency.
But you know what it does?
What?
It gives me peace of mind. Because if anything happened, at least I have 7 underwear.
Y'all act like you're going in the middle of the desert, okay?
You literally never know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could always just go to the store and buy like the cheapest underwear you can find to like hold you over for the day, for the trip.
But part of traveling is like feeling comfortable away from your home. Like, remember when we went to Australia and we lost all of our suitcases, but I wasn't smart enough to pack any backups in my carry-on, so I didn't have anything in there.
Let's go back to that word I said, packing efficiently. Okay,
but who also didn't have underwear? You.
I had underwear. I always carry. So the way I pack is that all my underwear and like socks and all that stuff goes into my bag. Like my back, the one that you carry on your back when you put your laptop in.
But you went shopping with us.
Yeah, I bought like dress shirts and dress pants. Yeah, which I didn't end up using. But then they fit well, so I just took them back with me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I forgot to get the refund and all that money. But let's not talk about that, okay?
Okay, back to your story.
Yeah, so we went to the beach day. It wasn't really like the most exciting trip. It was really just like, in and out. Went there, went to the beach. We did our walks across the beach. Husband wife moments.
The sunset walk on the
sunset
beach.
Walk on the beach. Exactly.
That's what you were looking for. I got you.
Exactly. And the next day we had the wedding itself. That was fun. We were taking notes and all that stuff for
I was just
other
gonna
events.
ask. I was just gonna ask. Did you attend the event with like?
Oh yeah.
Mental note. Let me remember this.
Exactly. That's all we were doing. I'm sorry to the bride and groom. We were judging everything.
Damn.
Both the positives and the negatives. Mm-hmm. Okay, they would agree on some of the negatives that I pointed out, which weren't their fault.
You pointed it out to them?
No. If they were to hear that,
like
the some of the things we pointed out, like they would agree with too. Okay. I feel like what? Don't make that face. That's not controversial. Is it controversial?
She's saying.
She's saying.
Cameras.
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
If money wasn't a factor, and judgment from the community wasn't a factor, because we all know how the community
destination wedding.
What is your ideal
destination wedding?
Okay. Yeah. But like, what would you want? What would you want out of the wedding? Like, what would you want to do?
Something small, destination. Maybe like a group trips to different things. Maybe it would be like a wedding in like Tanzania, and you can make it like an African safari, so you can go. Those like big trucks they take.
I'm gonna steal that idea.
The trips across the safari, the Sahara safari. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But doing something like that, making it more of an experience, because I prefer to give people more experiences. Mm-hmm. Like. If they can take something away from it, something new. So that would be something I would actually look for. Like the typical wedding things are not things that I look for.
Yes.
Is that. So I would definitely try and make it a destination. If like money was an issue and like judgment from, I didn't get called, those things. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
I do.
So if those were not a thing, then I would definitely make it a destination wedding.
So okay. So safari mission trip. That actually sounds like that'd be a cool idea.
Don't steal my idea now.
What
would you do?
I'm getting married after you. So
tell me what you would do first.
So
say the exact same thing.
So I would do a destination. I'm just
I
kidding.
feel like if money isn't an object, everyone would do a destination
Okay,
wedding.
you know what?
What?
It costs the same.
Yeah, I feel like it would.
It was actually cheaper.
You get like a smaller group.
That's true. I think for me, because I have waited so long, because I've waited so long, I almost feel like there are too many people in my life now that when the day comes, all I'm gonna hear is like, finally, oh my god. So I would want to do it in a place that's like central enough.
So you want to like invite the whole city?
No, not exactly, because like when I think about weddings and like when you think about being on the dance floor, I want to look around and truly be like, wow, these are all the people that I love and that love me. I don't want to look around and be like, why are you here? Why are you here? And why are you glaring at me and not smiling? You know, like you never want to, like you want to protect your peace and your energy too, right? And like something as special as a wedding is like a moment for you to celebrate like this new chapter in your life. And you know, when I'm thinking about like what I used to want as like an 18-year-old planning my dream wedding, that was like I want to invite the whole world and have like the biggest wedding. Absolutely not. I feel like I would get stage fright. Like this podcast and my persona on here, this is really me, but I'm a chicken. Don't you remember the live show? I was shaking in my boots, like literally.
Well, like you kind of had no choice because your back was was a big part of that equation.
No, high key, I was in pain too. But like, but I feel like once you turn it on, you just like you're on. You know what I mean? And I think thankfully we had each other, and I could just bounce my energy off of you. And the crowd, of course, was fantastic. But like when I'm thinking about a wedding, I'm not putting on a show. Well, I guess.
No, you are.
The
one thing I realize now is that you are putting on a show.
Yeah, you kind of
after observing and stuff like that. Like you do have to, because like you brought all these people here. You kind of have to.
You don't want them to be bored.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Like
imagine.
even the things that you play, like things that you set up.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking about, okay, will the person be entertained by this? Like
that's the thing.
What will make this unique to them? I don't know. It's like you think there's all these little things that you think about.
Like I think I saw a TikTok recently that like this person was saying like, when I plan my wedding, I want people to like how I feel in my relationship is the feeling that I want people to feel when they're at my wedding. So if your relationship is like something that's like super peaceful and calm and serene, you want to like reflect that in your wedding planning. Don't ask why I'm not getting married, guys. It came up and I was like, oh, this is interesting. But yeah, and I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? When I think about because I've been to a lot of weddings. Listen,
I've been there too. Okay, so
why are you judging? You were there with me.
Yeah, exactly. Been to every single one you've been to.
Literally. But out of all of the weddings, like sometimes, like you know, you leave some and you're just like, I mean, it was nice, but like, it's a replica of like the last like 50 weddings. Yes. But then there are some that leave like a true lasting impression on you. Like one of them is Nia, my friend Nia had a destination
wedding. Just saying.
In Portugal. And honestly, I was like wowed, like jaw on the floor. Like that was probably one of the best weddings I've ever been to because it was just so different. And it was like an experience. It wasn't just typical wedding. It was truly an experience from like start to finish, and like country hopping literally with a big group of people I think is so fun. Obviously you want to be considerate of everyone's like budget and where they are in life, and it's like who can make it and who can't. And for me, family and friends are super important, like loves of my life literally. So if it's inconveniencing my friends and family, then obviously I won't do it.
Honestly,
yeah,
these days with the like prices we're seeing to just go like across the border half the time, and then you look at the prices going to like Europe and other places, like it's almost equivalent. Maybe you're paying like an extra $100-$200.
Yeah, like you're right. I think flying to the other side of the world is, I don't want to say cheaper, but like kind of sometimes it is.
And like in my eyes, I see like, okay, I know you mentioned that there are people who might not be able to afford it, or like we kind of making pay, but if they're getting an experience out of it at the end of it, and they're gonna be paying for a plane ticket anyways, like honestly, I'm the type of person who I'm willing to, like, if you need an extra $100 or whatever, I'll pay it. I don't care.
Yeah,
as long as you get an experience out of it. maybe make a fund or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there's one, you're asking someone coming to like just a city they've never been to, maybe it's not as different to where they come from. Like if you're going from Toronto to like
somewhere in the States.
yeah, somewhere in the States. Sorry, shout out to I'm just talking about States. But yeah, but then you'd say like someone who's going like you went from Toronto to like Portugal, somewhere you've never been before.
Yeah.
And like I guess her in those places, a lot of times when you get like a destination wedding, they have packages where they have like fine-tuned it to give you a full experience, right?
Yeah.
So they've like they've done this enough to where it's all gonna be like bang bang bang. They know what works, what doesn't work, that kind of thing. So you at least know you're gonna get a good experience out of it for a fairly good price.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think that if I'm gonna make someone pay an extra couple $100, it's gonna be totally worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I wouldn't just be like, hey, guys, let's go to whatever country and then you're bored out of your mind.
Exactly.
No, like it's going to be as much as I can jam pack into that trip and the cost to make it worth it.
Yeah.
I would do that. That's my dream.
Yeah. So your answer is also a destination wedding.
Yeah, it is. It is also destination wedding, but you never know.
Unless you want an Ankar Mahtab.
That's the thing. So if you want to do, if I want to do like I would just do split. You know what would be cool?
What?
Which is actually exactly what Nia did.
What?
She did the cultural stuff in Toronto because the community's here, and then the reception was a destination wedding.
Yeah. So that but then you're still dealing with like 1,000+ people that you gotta invite.
To the cultural part.
Ankara, yeah. But I guess it's less planning technically because like Ankara, like you can kind of since it's not a reception, you can kind of get away with just making it about the Ankara, and like no.
Yes and no, because you obviously you still have like coworkers and like other friends that may not be able to travel.
Oh, I would like hold off the coworkers and all those people for the destination.
But like imagine your whole team can't travel with you.
Why not?
Who's gonna run the business?
What?
If you're all in the same department.
Oh yeah. You just gotta find the weakest link. That's all it is.
Hold it down for the team.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. No, but like, yeah, because sometimes I think about it. Like everyone at work, a lot of my coworkers are married or like they're older, they have kids and stuff, and they're always saying to me like, "Can't wait till it's your day." Like, we can't wait to experience an Ethiopian wedding. And sometimes I sit there and I think, and I'm like, what would they like? Especially when I go to weddings and I'm like things that we kind of like starting 3 hours later is like totally normal and acceptable in our community, which shouldn't be, but it is. Like just
people are changing that. Okay, people are changing that.
The different quirks. Like Atam or Adib like doing their little test on the mic. Like, just like
test. Yeah, he goes. He makes like some noises or something. I don't know.
What?
You don't remember that? Okay, maybe it's just me. Like something in recesses of my mind. I don't know. He would make like sounds.
That's
I don't know. It
crazy.
was something. Okay.
But like little quirks about our weddings, I'm just like, what? How would I explain this to my coworkers? Like, what would they say? Like just like even like Jalie, like when they ask me what that means, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just sing it, but I don't know. I would have to do this extensive research.
Actually, that reminds me of
explain.
We were at the wedding in LA, and the table we were sitting at happened. There was like a West African couple that happened, or family. There's a husband, a wife, and their son. But the son was older. They were older. And it was their first Ethiopian wedding. And then when the moms were walking in, singing the songs and stuff, like they were like, "What are they saying?" And then like Hanan started like translating for them, like
you know what it means.
Some of them.
Yanabi.
Oh.
I was explaining what Yanabi sounds.
Yeah, she was explaining it. Basically, she was translating, but like not word for word. Some of them you did word for word, but then generally she was just saying like what they're saying, why they're saying it, those kind of things, right?
I don't know the purpose, but it did make us think.
Yeah.
And we actually want to do like Divya had explainer card, like.
Okay, let's not go into details here. Okay,
but like okay, so for Yanabi specifically, as you guys know, like Harari culture and Islam are like this. Okay, we're intertwined.
Yeah,
and so I think like starting off the wedding ceremonies by praising the prophet, like what a beautiful way to start it. Like in my opinion, I don't know. Maybe like there must be a deeper meaning behind it, but like that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think it's always just remind you of that connection.
Yeah, a lot of our like wedding like zikris and stuff have some sort of like
that's the purpose of all of them, right? It's basically like praising the prophet, you know, thanking Allah and all those things. That's basically the gist of all of our zikris.
Do you know what Ankar Mahtab means?
To clean something, to clean your heart.
No. Ankar does not mean
I don't know
heart.
what Ankar means.
It means like the lining of the intestines or the stomach.
Oh, is it for like the waqalim when they fill those waqalim with the intestine things?
Well, so you know when you have a wedding, it's good to be like generous and feed not just the poor, but like feed your guests and whatever. And so usually a cow gets slaughtered. Yeah. And they have to wash the.
I was once there for a cow slaughtering. It was different.
You saw it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because you can't just like.
Did they like?
This is too graphic.
Yeah, that is.
You can't like fully just slice through.
So what'd they do?
So you have to like hit them in a certain spot.
To knock them over?
No, not knock them over. Like you have to stab. You have
Where?
to like
on the neck?
Yeah, in like a certain spot.
And then what happens?
And then you cut it. Yeah.
Did they lay it down?
No, I think it was standing up. Yeah, it was standing up. Yeah, it was definitely standing up.
But it's huge. Like, I know. Didn't it fall over then?
I kind of looked away after the blood started coming out. It was different. It was definitely very different than the goat. I've seen a goat also. A couple of them, actually.
Yeah, I've seen a goat, too.
Yeah. I think that's kind of like a rite of passage for a lot of us.
I do remember, like, Mommy's wedding when I went when I was 9. They had a cow. Yeah. But I didn't see it get slaughtered. I just saw it alive and standing at one moment. I was like, oh my God, a cow. And I never saw it again.
You were eating it next. That's what you were doing.
It's like, wow, this gypsy's bomb. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's the cow that you like.
Direct to customer, man. That's how it is.
That's crazy. I don't know. I'm surprised I'm not a vegetarian.
At least shop local, man. That's all it is.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, at least you know where your meat is coming from.
That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So destination wedding for us. Cool.
Yeah, we were past that, no?
I think so. What were we talking about again?
I was gonna just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, we totally can.
So another big things that happened.
Hard stop. All right, let's go.
So another couple of big things that happened while we were gone. So the election actually happened in Canada.
Oh yeah, the Liberals won, and online Canadians are upset because they feel like the online sentiment was go blue, go Conservatives, but in reality, the Liberals.
Yeah, you know what? I can't blame them too. Well, like I can blame them, but I can't blame too much because if you look at the charts, literally like right before the orange dude was put into office, like Liberals literally had the worst approval rating.
You know what it is?
Horrible approval ratings. Like their chart was like sinking down to the bottom, right? Yeah. While Conservatives were like going up. So basically, it was like I don't know how it's gonna show up on here, but like this is the Conservative line. They're going like this, and like Liberals were here, and they're going like this. So they crossed paths, and like Liberals are going down while Conservatives are going up.
That's all thanks to Trudeau.
Yeah, exactly. And then the moment that Trump started saying like all that stuff about the tariffs and the 51st state stuff, it literally went like Liberals are going down, Conservatives are going up. It almost looks like it's fake. Like the how it changed looks fake because it shot up so fast with Liberals and so like far down for the Conservatives because Conservatives had aligned themselves a little bit with Trump. So like people were like, we see what's going on down there. Right. We do not want that. Yeah. And they lost after that, man.
You know what's crazy though is that like a lot of the conservative like campaign, like the policies, I think a lot of people were actually like supporting. It's just no, some, not a lot of it. Some of the points, like they were pretty important, like lowering or providing more affordable housing, like those types of things. Oh yeah. But I think unfortunately for Pierre, like he just wasn't as likable. Yeah. And I think his alignment with Trump really, really hurt his campaign.
And like other people who also were like he did an interview with Jordan Peterson.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
What do you mean?
Why didn't he interview with him?
Oh, why did he do an interview with Jordan Peterson? He did
okay.
an interview with Jordan Peterson, but Jordan Peterson actually was like kind of playing with the sentiment. With kind of agreeing with the statement of becoming the 51st state. Like he was kind of aligning himself more with that. So that didn't really help. Like you do an interview with a guy.
Was he pushing that narrative?
Huh?
Was he
pushing?
pushing?
Like he was pushing for like Canada to, maybe it might be a good thing that Canada becomes part of the 51st state. And like to do an interview with that guy doesn't really help your case, man, when you're trying to say that you're all like kind of Canada rah-rah, right?
Yeah, and I think that like obviously, unfortunately for Justin Trudeau, like he really left a bitter taste in a lot of Canadians' mouths. And so when you look at it from the outside, it's kind of just like, well, why would we revote the Liberals back into power after we just had a horrible 8 years with Trudeau? But, unfortunately, the way that Pierre ran the campaign, especially towards the end,
horribly.
just like, yeah, like it truly, really, like it hurt him, unfortunately for him. But what surprised me was how low of support that the NDP got. But I feel like a lot of NDP supporters just jumped ship to Liberal.
They did, yeah.
Because they really didn't want Conservatives to win.
Yeah.
Like Bloc Québécois got more votes than them, and I was like, "Whoa, I've never seen that."
Well,
like,
that makes sense. Bloc Québécois always like they just have a stronghold or a stranglehold on Quebec.
Why are you voting for them? You're just wasting your vote. They're never gonna win.
No, because the thing about it helps, especially in a minority government. It really helps because they can push for more, they can basically make sure that Quebec is always like thought of and included in any like legislation that comes through for the country in general.
I getcha.
So having them there is actually very positive. It's a good thing for Quebec itself.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. So, but NDPs, man, like.
Yeah, it was really sad, and I don't know if this is true, but did Jagmeet Singh?
Yeah, he dropped out immediately.
Yeah.
Like before, when midnight hit, he already said.
Yeah,
like,
he was
done.
like planning on it. I think maybe he took the loss a little too hard.
No, they definitely needed new leadership after that.
Yeah.
Because they had 22 seats before this, right? And now they're down to like 7 or 8, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I think it's because unfortunately, I think even Hanan was saying this, like, unfortunately, like we are influenced a lot by the rhetoric in the South, like in America. So, America is becoming is very polarized right now. Like one side, like 50-50 basically, right? And because we're influenced by them a lot, we're kind of, I don't know if it's subconsciously or consciously, we are falling in line with that type of mindset where like there's one team and another team, right?
Yeah.
Even though we as Canadians, we know we have more options. We have the NDP, we have the Green Party. There's technically also like, well, the Bloc Québécois not really because they don't have people all across the country. But what are the other parties?
Is there an independent?
There's another party I'm forgetting about.
There's another one?
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
I think they're more like actually more further right. I'm not sure, but I know there's one more party. But essentially, you have more choices, right? But I guess people are just so scared, and when people are scared, they kind of vote like this. But hopefully, I feel like in the next 4 years, as things hopefully settle down, by the time we have our next election, there'll be another president down south. Inshallah, we don't know what's gonna happen down there, really.
See.
But hopefully by like 4 years from now, that polarization will kind of subside a little bit, so people will start to vote more strategically. Because a lot of people talk about strategic voting, right? Especially over here where we have the options. So then you might see the NDP kind of rise back up again as like an actual force that can swing votes depending on like what they want to push, or at least swing legislation or change legislation, or at least push legislation that can help Canadians, or that they believe can help Canadians.
It would be interesting to see an NDP Canada.
Like NDP Canada?
Yeah, like to see them in power. It would be interesting. I don't know.
They had a chance when Jack Layton was...
and then he passed away, and then his wife just... Olivia Chow. You know what you're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, that was interesting. That was something that happened. Now we have Mark Carney as our new prime minister. Well, technically he was already the prime minister, but this kind of solidified it. And it's funny because like he's always been since he got in, he's been calling the conservatives on their bluffs. So like when he first got in, immediately the conservatives were like, we didn't vote you in here. This is not democratic. We need a vote now. And Mark Carney was like, okay, bet we'll have a vote in a month from now. Let's vote and let's solidify this. If you guys want me, yeah. If you guys want me, well. And this is before like the sentiment was changing for liberals, which I feel like why he felt like it was kind of like more in their favor to have the vote now, but there was still a chance that they could lose, right? That's why the conservatives were pushing so hard, and people were like they were so like
their whole campaign was, but we're not Trudeau.
Yeah, exactly. But once Trudeau was out there, like, what do you say now, right?
Yeah.
But there was still a chance that they could lose, right? But he's like, okay, if you guys want to vote, let's do a vote, right? So then they win, and not funny, sad enough, funny enough, Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, lost his seat in Carleton.
Oh my God, yeah, I saw that, and I was just like, damn.
So it's not really a good sign when your leader of your party loses his seat, right? So everybody was saying, because the reason people are saying that he lost his seat is because there were 90 candidates on his his riding. So like when you see the voting list for his thing, it was literally like it looked like a scroll from how many names were on this thing, right?
That's crazy.
So people were saying that because of that, like it may have confused a lot of people, and also it takes a lot of votes away from the major parties because like, you know, families will vote for their person who's running. So that takes a lot of votes, and especially in our ridings where like there's only, our country is still small, right? So our ridings are like dealing with like 50,000 people a lot of times, right? Which is still a lot of people, but not as much as what you find in America. So they, people were saying like there was some weird stuff going on, and they wanted to revote to hopefully get him in. And then Mark Carney's like, yo, if Pierre wants another revote, or like to what do they call it, by-election. That's what it was. If he wants a by-election, we'll push for a by-election, and they can revote there, right? To see if he wants to seat back and see if the people actually can
like
if they actually want to vote for him, right?
Yeah.
So there's less confusion, whatever. So yeah, he's been calling him out on that, and I just hope that he follows through on his promises about like he already said that he's following through on his promises of like reducing our taxes.
He better
for the middle class specifically.
Wait, what qualifies as middle class?
I'm not sure. Probably think it's like I don't know. I can't say. I think it's less than $200,000 a year. I'm pretty sure it's less than $200,000 a year.
So if you make like 180, you're considered middle class?
Yeah, well, in Toronto, yeah.
That's true.
I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, so that's the thing. But also he's planning on building I think 500,000 new houses.
Oh, between 55 to
What?
Okay. Lower
Why that makes
because this doesn't make sense.
What?
Okay. Overall middle class
is
about 52,000 to 141.
Okay.
But like middle class is 55,000 to 89,000. Upper middle class is 89,000 to 149.
So generally middle class is 44 to 144, 141?
52 to 141.
Oh, 52 to 140. Okay, yeah. So yeah, around that range kind of thing, right? But so yeah, that should save us about a little less than $1,000 a year, which doesn't sound a lot, but it sounds like a lot. But for smaller families or for people who are living paycheck to paycheck, that might help out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the main thing, especially for me, you know, when you're looking for housing and stuff, he said he's gonna build 500,000 new houses, so you better follow through on that. Okay. Next election is gonna look very different. I'm kidding. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, honestly.
Yeah.
The 500,000 houses. He said they're gonna make like modular houses.
What's
and
that?
a lot of like people on the other side, like conservatives specifically, were saying, "Oh, they're gonna start building shacks. Not shacks, but what do you call those things? Like where there's like a bunch of them in one plot of land."
Like
trailer houses or whatever you call those things.
Yeah, the ones that look like shipping containers.
Yeah, no, people were saying like, oh, that's what he means by modular houses. But when you look up what a modular house is, it looks like a regular house. It just means that they build it off site and then they bring the house and put it on the site.
Like a portable house.
Yeah, essentially, but like they put it together in pieces, almost like giant Lego. What?
How come when I googled modular house, there's a house for $62,000 on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get tiny ones.
What? Oh, these are tiny ones. Yeah. Okay.
That's expensive. But you can get them they're significantly cheaper than building on land, and they take a lot less time. Like you're talking about modular houses can be put in within a couple weeks, while a house that's built like on the land can take up to a year, sometimes 2 years.
Yeah, but considering our unpredictable climate and extreme
these things have been tested for, like, modular houses are not a new thing.
They're not, but have you also seen like the 3D printer ones too? Because those look kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't think those are feasible in our climate though. I don't know how those work, especially like for the material. I'm not a big fan of those 3D houses.
You don't like the crinkly wall looking situation?
Yeah. I don't know. You can probably cover that with like plywood, not plywood, drywall or something. But I'm more, honestly, I just want more houses, man.
Yeah,
bring down the prices. That's all it is.
I want to invest in property this year.
Yeah,
but I'm like looking at the prices. I'm just like,
I know.
How the hell am I supposed to afford this one?
I know. And
Can you believe?
At least it's not going higher, okay?
For now.
Yeah, for now. But like, I feel like what
mentioned to my father. So my dad and I go to work together.
Mm-hmm.
We have different chats each drive. And I was like, you know what, Father?
Mm-hmm.
When I get married, I'm not going to pay for a single thing.
What?
And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to. He's like, so you're not going to help your husband with the mortgage? I said, did I help you with the mortgage? And he was like, well, no. I'm like, exactly. So he's like, you were also a child. I'm like, and I still am.
See, men out here, look at these standards of these women these days, huh?
He literally responded with, it was one of these, selfish. And I said, how is that selfish?
Yeah.
It is not my obligation, sir.
Hey, remember, they grew up in the time of 50-50, okay? And they're all struggling out here.
Listen.
Yeah.
My thing is, if my husband don't got it like that, and I accept him and I marry him in that state, then I'm accepting that I'm going to have to help him.
Yeah.
But if he's got it like that.
Okay, if he's got it, sure, yeah.
Why I got to pay?
Yeah, if he has it like that, he probably shouldn't be asking anyways.
I'll buy him fries or something. That's my contribution.
Fries?
you know that TikTok trend that goes like, I don't want your money. And then the girl will be like my husband pays for it. Da, 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 da. So I made him a nice coffee and then she gives him that.
I feel like I've seen those memes. I don't remember that sound though.
You haven't? Okay, I'll show you after.
I've seen the memes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like the meme that I think of when you say that is when there's a girl and a guy out on a date and he gets the price. Yeah. He gets a receipt. How much was it? She's like, how much was it? He's like, $400. He's like, that ain't too bad. Yeah. It's like, you ain't paying for it, that's why.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was another big thing that happened. What else happened? Did I write down no more tariffs?
Yeah, you did.
I think we already talked about that.
We did.
Yeah. And he's kind of backing down on everything, man. Honestly, everyone knows this. That guy is not a good negotiator.
He's all talk.
Yeah, it's all talk. It's all breaking down right now. They're kind of like, he's kind of figuring out the hard way right now down in America. But
the point after that, though,
what
is it unique?
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll talk about the news first, and then we'll get to that. Okay.
All right.
So the next big thing is currently. So as a lot of our listeners probably already know, there's currently Gaza is currently under siege, and which means nothing is getting in or out of there, including food. So you're basically dealing with millions of people who are currently starving, and they've almost completely run out of food at this point. And I feel like it's not being covered by anyone. They're kind of at this point, the news is like, just let them starve. Let them finish this up. I know it's really messed up, and everybody's just distracted with what's going on here in America. Even we're getting distracted, right? You're not seeing it as much, but this is the reality of what's going on right now. But there's a group out there who's trying to do whatever they can. They're like, so can someone do something? So there's currently, they call themselves the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. So they were like, okay, let's just like try and get something there ourselves, right? Geographically, you guys know that, Gaza is currently on the Mediterranean Sea, along the Mediterranean Sea. So there was the flotilla. They ended up getting a bunch of supplies, a bunch of food and everything for these people. They put it on a boat and they started making their way from Malta to Gaza. They're basically going to go through the seaport and try and get in from there. And of course, this is a very dangerous mission, but they're like, what are we going to do? Like, we need to help out these people. And actually, one of the people who was on that boat is, do you remember Greta Thunberg?
Yeah,
she was like the 15-year-old.
Wow,
who
she
like,
was on the boat.
Yeah, she's one who's pushing for like climate
change.
Trying to wake people up on climate change.
Yeah. I remember.
So she's actually on that boat. And,
oh wow.
But they kind of hit a snag last night from when we're recording this today, which is like we're recording this on May 2nd.
Friday, yeah.
So last night, in the middle of the night, there was a drone that actually, and hey, just to let you know, these guys are currently, they didn't make it there yet. They're currently in international waters, right?
Yeah.
So no one has jurisdiction over this land, yet they were hit by a couple drones.
Like bombed?
Yeah, on their way there.
They're not allowed to by
Exactly, they're not allowed to do that. This is international waters. Like, it's basically like a
neutral land.
neutral land, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and of
waters.
course, is not real is claiming that it wasn't them, or at least they're like not
so
taking
who else would
any.
it be?
Exactly, right? So that happened, and thankfully the boat actually survived, or it wasn't damaged enough to where it couldn't continue. So the latest thing right now that I know is that they're still making their way there, and inshallah they're actually able to make there. I know it's just a boat, and for the amount of people that are currently in Gaza that don't have food, like, I don't know how much. Inshallah, like, it'll be like one of those situations where the food just miraculously doesn't run out and the people continue to be fed from it and benefit from it. And maybe this would be like the catalyst to give a bunch of other people the same idea, so they can start doing this, and maybe they can get like significant enough names and faces out there to where any attack or any anything being done to these people, any attack on these people will at least get some type of international pushback.
I mean, it's like this group, the Freedom
Flotilla.
Who's like, are they North Americans? Are they Europeans? Like, who?
It's people from around the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my thing is that the fact that it takes people around the world to go by boat through international waters to deliver aid, whereas a lot of the other Arab and Muslim countries,
well, I wouldn't call them Muslim countries.
Arab countries, silent, no ounce of help.
Yeah, well, it's more of like shouting but not like doing anything.
No, the citizens are trying.
Yeah,
but I'm saying the leaders of these nations are silent. Like, just it's falling on deaf ears. It's truly just disheartening. It's disappointing to see.
Unfortunately, like, and they keep having these like meetings with all the other Muslim or Arab countries, and nothing ever comes of it. Like, I think they had one a couple months ago, maybe a month ago or something.
Yeah.
And I think they just wrote like an angry letter. I don't think they did anything really.
Saying what? Cease and desist?
Exactly. Or like,
LOL.
oh, we won't do trade with you or whatever. But like, it's nothing to actually help the people on the ground, right?
That's crazy, because they're worth billions of dollars.
Exactly.
Like, I actually saw a post about the Prince of Saudi, who donates like 200 something million of his own money to the fund that allows citizens like it grants them ownership of homes on the land
in the
Saudi.
West Bank.
No, in Saudi.
Okay, yeah.
But like he basically is trying to promote how home ownership of the citizen for the citizens, and of course I ran to the comments and everyone's like, why would you donate money to your already rich nation when you could literally be donating your 200 million to those that truly need it?
Yeah,
it's just.
But the unfortunate thing now is that no matter what you donate, it can't even get in right now.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate situation, but inshallah they're able to make it through.
Inshallah.
And actually get in. Actually, to show you like how crazy this whole situation is, just with what I've heard recently about this country is not real in general, is there was a state, or not a state, there was a city in Texas. I forget what it was, like the city councilors or something. They found out that like $5.5 million worth of their budget was for some reason being donated to is not real. like this is a small city council, whatever. Like they're like, why is $5.5 million of our own taxpayer money that could go to our own people being used to go to like a foreign country, right? What happened to America first, right?
Yeah.
So they tried to do something about it. They're like, okay, let's just reroute this money. Let's put in some, I don't know what the legislation, whatever they call it in America, to use this money for our own citizens, the people who are paying into this system, right?
Right.
And it was stopped by Greg Abbott. What's his name again? Texas Greg Abbott, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it was he wrote a letter to that council stopping them, saying what you're doing right now is anti-Semitic. What? It makes no sense, man.
No, that actually like
makes
don't
no
piss
sense.
me off. Don't piss me off.
No sense at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And
no,
like,
honestly, Israel must have something on the U.S. because I don't understand this blind loyalty.
huh?
I don't understand the blind loyalty.
It's the funds, man. They fund it. The one thing is that they've played the game to perfection. That's the one thing you can give them. They've played it to the perfection and like how to game the system, at least the American system. They're like, who's a superpower in the world? They went to them and immediately started paying into it, right? So
I wonder how APAC, like, their strategy has changed since Citizens United, which was the case that allowed companies to have freedom of speech, basically pay anyone they want.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
well, that's when it started, no? Because there was a point where APAC they're about to like disband it, or they're trying to destroy, or like they're basically trying to take away. Oh yeah, they're trying to take away their like charity status or their like tax exempt status. But they were able to fight that after Citizens United was entered. It was something that was like what do you call that? I forget the words in America that they use.
The court case.
Yeah, the Citizens United course. Once it was upheld, whatever. Then they were able to like fight that, or like they were able to pay off the people who were trying to get their tax exempt status taken away, and it never came up again. But yeah, so those were a couple other things that were happening. Oh yeah, also there's something you wanted to mention.
So I don't know. Did you see there was basically there are forest fires in, I think it was either in Jerusalem or like near it. And it's funny because the forest is filled with foreign trees that aren't even native to the land. Yeah. Because the Israeli government planted them there to hide the Palestinian lands, I believe. Well,
no, it was to basically like hide something, sabotage the land. So they couldn't, so the people who had claim to that land, the Palestinian people who had claim to that land, it's so that they couldn't use it anymore. There's a forest there. There's a forest there now.
And so now that there's a fire, the Israeli government's asking for international aid.
And no one's coming to their help.
They better not. But like after all that you've done, you're like the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah. First off, we just want to say we never want like innocent people.
No, that's not what of course.
Killed, but like
if it's just a bunch of trees burning, then burn, baby, burn. I'm just kidding.
I just hope that it affects their GDP.
And maybe their air quality, something like that. But
it's sad to know that like America will probably come to the rescue and just give them a few more $1 billion to buy their own equipment and fix this whole situation for them.
They have the intelligence to send drones into the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, but they don't have enough water to take out a forest fire. Make it make sense.
I know it's because the money that they were given to buy that equipment, they just rerouted that money towards their weapons and stuff like that. Yeah, because that essentially all they've been doing is putting all their money into weapons and
AI and stuff,
like ways to basically oppress people.
That's crazy.
Like they're like, we want to be the best at this, so we're gonna put all our money into learning how to oppress people the best, right? So that's essentially why it's coming back to bite them now.
That's is the government is a master manipulator.
Oh yeah, they're really good at that.
That's messed up.
That's one thing you can give them. Let's get into more lighthearted topics. And what do you take offense to, Sara?
Naming your kids to be more Western.
Oh yeah, so the first topic, this is something I wanted to talk about. Something me and my wife have debated. Because we're like, you talk about, like, oh, if we had kids, if we had a girl or a boy, what would you name them, that kind of thing, right? And I was like, maybe we should take back, the power of having
ethnic names.
Exactly, right? Because people there's this whole trend of like trying to make names for kids that are like somewhat related to our culture or religion, but are super easy for like the Farangiach to say.
Yeah,
those who know what that means. But yeah, I feel like pushing back. I feel like naming my daughter Bilqis. Huh?
Isn't that Cardi B's name?
Huh? No, that's Bellicles or something like that. I don't know.
I swear that's her name.
Or like
Ruqayya.
Ruqayya. Yeah, something with a like a cough in
I
there.
love that name. That name's so beautiful.
What?
Ruqayya.
There you go. That's
is a
a name
beautiful
you
name.
can say, right?
They just call her Ruqayya. Ew, Ruqayya.
No, we're gonna also emphasize for our kids
Or they call her
that
Ru.
they must make sure that people pronounce their names correctly. Okay. This is also me
That's
saying
like
this as a guy
Rayan.
who like struggles with saying half the commentator's name. So
That's like Rayan. Like they probably call him Ryan at school. Wait.
Rayan's not that hard.
It's either like no, but they can't say Rayan. They'll say like Rayan. Ew. Rayan.
That's like yours. Even your basic name
Yeah.
is said wrong. Okay?
You want to know something funny?
Sarah?
Sarah?
Sorry. Okay, I said that too loud.
I was
Sara.
when I went to a coffee shop and
Yeah.
like near my work in the
Mhm.
path, because I saw a comment once. I was like, when I speak of this path, like it's this wonderful place. It is.
Just Google it.
And the lady was like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Sarah."
Mm-hmm.
And you know how she spelled it? Sera. Sera. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna start spelling my name like that.
What?
Sarah.
No, but your name is Sara. Okay.
So here's the thing.
You have to make sure
Okay.
you bring your finger like that too.
I actually Or
it's like this. I
as
don't know.
people Sarah.
Yeah.
As people at work have discovered the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
obviously they, watched some of the clips and they noticed like, how come your cousin calls you Sara?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you got to roll the R. It's Sara.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, is that your real name? I'm like, it's literally Sarah with an accent. Like, I don't know. What
But
to tell
it's not
you.
even with an accent. It's just how it's said, okay? You gotta say
Sarah.
it strong. You gotta make sure you say, no, yes, that is how I say my name. Now
I
say
feel
it.
like when I'm like 45, 50 and I'm like
Mhm.
sophisticated, grown, I'll be like, yeah, my name is Sara.
Why can't you be sophisticated and grown now?
I mean, I am, but I'm still like,
I
I
feel
feel like
to figure out who you are.
no. No, but it's sort of like, it's giving Hannah Montana,
What?
Miley by day, Hannah by night, Sara by day. Or sorry, Sarah by day, Sara by night. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, you can live your Hannah Montana dreams for now, but I just
You don't
feel
think
like
so?
in the future we must push for more ethnic names.
No, I totally support
I can't
that.
think of. Oh, do you have a list of ethnic names?
Is that what you sent to me? Okay, let me see.
Let me see what this is. You sent it to me too?
Ooh, here's a quote by Wersan Shire or Shir. I don't know how to pronounce. Oh, sorry. See? Okay. Give your daughters difficult names. Give your daughters names that command the full use of the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
My name makes you want to tell me the truth. My name doesn't allow me to trust anyone that can't pronounce it right. Period.
Exactly. That's the sentiment or this feeling we should be pushing onto our kids. Not pushing onto our kids, raising our kids with. Make sure they form to us, not to them. Okay? We're not trying to assimilate. Well, okay, maybe not complete, but it's socially sometimes it may be good to assimilate. But I'm just saying, okay. There's a balance. There's a balance here.
But you know what? We live in a pretty multicultural city
Mhm.
where I feel like both of us have gone to schools where we had classmates that had very ethnic names.
Mm-hmm.
And you think those kids cared? If you couldn't pronounce their name, they would literally spell it out phonetically until you got it right. Think of all the Tamil names, the
Yeah.
Asian names.
Yeah, but we should never go as far as the Asians.
Why? Oh, how they have
the
two
East
names?
Asians, yeah.
Like they have their English name and then their Chinese name
Exactly.
or whatever language
Yeah.
name.
Because, well, you know what? Sometimes maybe they are doing us a favor, but maybe it's time for a change. Maybe shouldn't be any more. Henry should go by
What his real name is.
Xing Yang. I speak that up.
That's racist.
Let me search that out right now. I'm going to search
Xing Yang.
Xinyang.
Xingyang is not a name.
There is a city called Xingyang?
That's crazy. I thought he was making that up. All right.
I was, but it's true.
Well, no, I agree. I truly think like you should. I mean, I say this while my parents literally named me Sara, knowing damn well everyone's gonna call me Sara.
Yeah.
Because in their minds, and this was in the 90s, that they were forward thinking, 30 years in advance. They said we want her to have equal opportunity to, you know, get a job and find it easy to get a job. And I will never forget this. When I was a kid, my older brother used to be involved in every single sport. And because I was the younger sibling, he dragged me to every single practice that he had. And so I remember, I think it was like baseball, but his coach was this lady, and she was like, "Oh, what's your name?" So I told her Sara, and she's like, "How come your brother has such a unique name, but you have like such a easy name to pronounce?" And I said, "I don't know, ask my parents." Also, my brother named me, so like that's probably why.
Yeah. But that does show you that it doesn't even have to be like a super, even something hard to say. Just make sure you keep it like...
name isn't hard.
Yeah, it's not hard to say, but it's still like different, right? It's like, it's not something that like you're planning to... Like when you call your kids Adam.
Yeah.
Right? Or like... But I guess that's also a prophet's name, so like I can't really like, you know, say it's a great.
But if you think of like Prophet
okay.
Muhammad's name, Muhammad is like one of the most common names in the world, not even just amongst Muslims.
Yeah, but then you know the guys out here, they go by Mo. I don't know Mo. What's the different one?
Mo, Hamoudi,
MK.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, that's definitely like a Toronto thing.
Or like M. Dot.
Yeah, it'll be like something with an M. They just won't say Muhammad, you know, which is like a very good name to have.
Mo Money.
Exactly. We're just calling out people we
like
know, right?
Every variation of Mo. If you're a Mo and you're friends with us and you're watching this, we're not making fun of you.
Yeah.
Mami, if you're Harari.
For real though, see? I'm telling you, man. But yeah, that was just something, and it's not something new. Okay, it was done in like even in the 70s or 80s. I can't remember when it was, or maybe the night. But there was a time where African Americans were trying to get away from like, you know, the slave names that they were given by choosing more ethnic names, and of course there's a lot of Muslim influence. So you have a lot of people who
Amir Johnson,
or like
Khalid the singer,
Tupac Shakur.
Yes.
What was his actual name again?
I forgot.
Let me search it up.
Yeah, let's see who can Google it faster.
Let's see. 1 second. His actual name was...
Damn it.
Oh, Amaru Shakur.
Tupac Amaru Shakur.
Yeah.
Shakur.
So they kind of already...
Hold on.
What?
He was actually born Lassane Parish Crooks.
What? Really?
Yeah.
But they changed their names. Yeah, they changed their names.
Oh, they gave him an alias to avoid being recognized as a Black Panther's child. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, because mom was a Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. But yeah, so it's not something new. It's just something I want to remind people of, okay? But there was another thing that I want to talk about, which was, okay, let's just say this was inspired by my recent watchings of something we all know about called Pop the Balloon.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't watch the original video, but I'm one of those people who likes watching people reacting to videos.
Okay. Yeah.
I love reaction video, or just like I find like a couple people that react to certain things, and I just love their commentary.
Oh, the commentary. Okay.
Yeah, it's like watching with a friend or that kind of thing, right? You know,
you watching reaction videos is the equivalent to someone reading the comments in a TikTok section, like TikTok.
Yeah, but it's more interactive. Not interactive, but like you get the emotion out of it. Some of them are funny. I like watching people who are funny with it, or can give some maybe other commentary on it. But they were watching Pop the Balloon, and there's one thing they pointed out that I was like, that's totally right. Because I don't know if you've watched Pop the Balloon, but every single person comes on, they're like, oh, so what do you do? The first thing they always say is that I'm an entrepreneur. And then they start listing off like 1, 2, oh, I'm a hairdresser. I also work a 9 to 5. I also
see James Gourmet Pies?
What?
James Gourmet Pies.
That's a new one. What's that one?
Do you know about James Gourmet Pies?
Was he on there?
He's a recurring.
What?
What?
They always mention.
Like, he
every
literally
time they talk.
introduces himself as James from James Gourmet Pie.
See, so there's
There was
always.
a woman like that too.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what she sold.
Oh.
They're promoting.
Yeah, but every
Yeah.
person that comes on there, including the people who are the contestants, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
all of them have multiple businesses. And like, in my eyes, I'm like, is this something that's unique to like Black people? Because if you think about it, we can all, even us, we can kind of say we do things, right?
You know what it
and
is?
if you think of all our friends, they all have multiple hustles. It's like something that's unique to Black people where we all have to have multiple hustles.
You know what it is?
What?
We're trying to build our generational wealth. We didn't get a head start in life, unlike our.
Yeah, maybe
Fellow
that's what it is. Maybe
white
it's a reaction to like the fact that we, even though we don't have a lot of that baggage, when we come into the game, we're still like dealing with the ramifications of it, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to like whether it be racism or
The gender pay gap.
yeah, for y'all the gender pay gap.
The pay gap.
I don't know.
Pay
I'm gonna cut that out. Don't call it out.
pay gap.
But yeah, so that but there's just like a lot of things, and I feel like, yeah, maybe it's a reaction to the trauma from all that stuff.
I think it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's mostly Black people, I think it's people of color in general have
Yeah,
side hustles.
yeah,
I totally see that. I totally think it's because of the generational wealth thing.
mm-hmm. And do you think it just sounds better to say that you're an entrepreneur? Like people, but the thing is, like, a lot of people are saying that they're an entrepreneur when they have like one business they started like a month ago, and like they're still like in the starting process. They still have like a 9 to 5. It's like, at what point can you call yourself an entrepreneur? Do you have to be successful
They're
to be an entrepreneur?
manifesting. They're manifesting.
Are there every single person, every contestant, every
You know what
person
it
coming
is?
up?
They're speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
And like on camera on a pretty popular show, probably to like motivate them to continue, because a lot of people who want to become entrepreneurs or who want to start businesses end up failing because they don't really continue after like week 3. They're like, oh, it's too much work.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of courage. It requires dedication, time, discipline, money. Money is a big one.
Yeah.
So I could totally, I think you have to say I'm an entrepreneur. I've never used that term personally. Are we entrepreneurs?
That was one thing I was trying to get to, is like, at what point can you call yourself an entrepreneur? Like, if you started a business yesterday, are you an entrepreneur?
I'm just Googling
Or when
the
I say you start a
definition.
business, when you start the process of starting a business, are you an entrepreneur? If you still have a 9 to 5, like, do you have to be successful to be an entrepreneur? Right.
Well, according to Google, according to the AI review of Google,
yes.
an entrepreneur is an individual who creates and invests in businesses, typically taking on most of the risk and reaping the rewards.
Yeah, but like, when is it considered business? Do you just have, the moment you make it an LLC, are you an entrepreneur?
Well, they're characterized by their ability to translate ideas into products or services, and they play a key role in driving economic growth. So I think simply having an idea doesn't automatically make you an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I think when you put your money where your mouth is, whether it's failed or not, like, at least you're trying, and that's when you could be like, I'm an entrepreneur. It could still be successful, but to a small scale. If you have one customer, you're still successful. You have one more than you had before. You know what I
I
mean?
guess so. Maybe I'm hating, but still.
Don't hate.
Yeah.
It's-
Maybe they should also be like that guy, the
James Gourmet
James
Pies?
Gourmet Pie guy. Like, instead of saying I'm an entrepreneur, call
Yeah.
out your thing. Be like, yeah, I started a business, called, I don't know, Amir's Gourmet Cookies.
I want to show
Are
you.
you showing
him.
me his page now?
Yeah, because I want you
We
to
can
see.
have your name and age.
My name is James. Gourmet Pie.
He has a whole movement he does with it too.
But yeah, so maybe it is a black. Maybe it's part of our black culture.
But maybe it's like a front also too, because people just feel like
like they're not
maybe
doing
no.
enough.
You know how like they always say like Black people generally have to like do more or like to
It's
get the
true.
same.
Yeah, they have to work.
Like you
10
have to
times
work.
harder.
Oh yeah, you have to work 10 times harder to get to the same spot that they do. Maybe it's a front to be like, because maybe a lot of people just have a 9 to 5, but they don't want to sound like they just have one job. Like it doesn't sound like they're working hard enough, or they feel like they're not living up to the potential or like the expectations that society puts on them. So they feel like they have to say that they're an entrepreneur, or they have to name like the multiple businesses, whether they've been successful or even failed businesses, just to say that. Like, it could be that they have 5 failed businesses, but they still call themselves an entrepreneur.
Well, okay.
But they do it like as a front.
Let's take our privilege out of this for a second. So let's assume that your 9 to 5 is able to sustain your expenses, and you're able to live not paycheck to paycheck. So you have a little bit of what is it, expendable income?
Yeah.
So privilege aside, I think that a lot of not just Black people, but children of immigrants, people of color, are instilled with the hustler mentality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, we didn't grow up thinking I'm going to live the soft life. Some of us, I think if you're a girl, yes, because especially if you're from a Muslim family,
Yeah.
your dad typically handles the majority of the finances for you, or your mom. But either way, it's never falling on you. If you're a guy, different story. But in that sense, I think that a lot of us have been instilled with the hustler mentality. Like, my mom always used to tell me, like, have your own job. Doesn't matter if you get married, like, have your own money, like, work hard for what you want, you know? So, like, I've always had that thought in my mind, even if I was doing like a 9 to 5. Like, I think for us, the reason why we don't feel like entrepreneurs is because we're not really like, we're hustling, but like, we do it because we truly love what we do. Yeah. That it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like a hobby. I think like our
goal is not to make money. Like, that would be a nice thing, but like, it's more because it's just like doing it.
Yeah, but I think for like, some people have multiple businesses or just multiple side hustles because they have to, and that's how they can afford to live. And those that are doing it truly as a side hustle because they're just passionate about it, or they just want to make the most amount of money, is because they have that hustler mentality instilled in them.
Yeah. Maybe it's just more because typically colored people in general, like,
we don't have trust funds.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have trust funds.
Yeah.
And because we come from communities that have been like pushed back and marginalized for so many years.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you want to get out of that, and you feel like you never want to, your future kids or your future family to never even see that, and you kind of have to just work as hard as you can now to like set yourself up for the future. And get
absolutely. I'm not gonna knock someone for wanting to do better than what they had. Our parents did that.
Yeah.
Our parents came here to give us a better life than what they had. And so now, you know, inshallah, when we have kids, we want to do even better than what our parents gave to us. You know what I mean? And of course, we're always grateful for, like, regardless of where our parents were financially, I feel like we had a pretty good childhood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, we never felt like we
never
were missing out.
Anything,
we never, we had every experience you could think of. We traveled, like, and that's more than some people can say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we were out here
more
saying,
than
like,
a lot of people can say.
Me and Amir had passports before we were even 1 year old. Okay. So
I was a world traveler before I could talk.
No, literally though. I turned 1 in Ethiopia.
I think I did too. No.
Were we there long? Maybe you were already 1, and I turned 1.
I went twice before I even turned like 5.
That's crazy.
I know. I don't know how my parents survived the plane rides with me.
You were a quiet baby though.
I
was the troublemaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think that it's not a bad thing. Like, I truly think that it's a good thing, and it's interesting to see, like, through the different generations. Like, millennials are a little bit more like, I feel like they are risk takers, but Gen Z are even more like, especially with the rise, and I know we always talk about this, but like, the rise of social media and truly making a career out of social media is so big. Like, there are courses now on it, you know, in schools, that I think that has like completely shifted the mentality of like side hustle.
Yeah.
So,
because a lot of times when they say they're entrepreneurs as well, like, it's because they have like an online, they have
shop or something.
Online, not only online shop, but like they just have a social presence where they're like trying to get sponsors and stuff like that, or they're trying to build up a following, that kind of thing. So that in themselves, like, they turn themselves into the business.
Yeah, you're the face of the brand. Like, you are the brand.
Exactly.
Or as that one girl from Dubai Bling says, I am the company.
I don't get the reference. I'm sorry.
Damn. You remember when that used to be me on the podcast and you would say all these things and I'd be like, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
And now it's you. Everyone knows Dubai Bling.
I don't know nothing.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
She didn't.
No, we watched Dubai Bling together. No, we watched Habibi. Yes. What's the show called? Love is Blind, Habibi. That's what we watched. I think I watched that too. No? You were there, but you weren't watching. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys are still watching.
Oh, but wow, we went a little long this week.
Yeah, we went a little long. I'm sorry. I'm really hungry right now.
Last time.
What?
It's to make up for not.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's exactly. Okay, guys. So I know that was a long episode. Shut up! Don't look at me like that. But if you liked what you heard or what you saw today, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all platforms, Cousin Connection Pod. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have anything to say about the things we said today, whether it be why Black people love to have multiple hustles or naming your kids with Western names. Hopefully I can pronounce half of the commentators' names.
Actually, I need to read you one comment that I saw because I laughed. You literally shamed someone into changing their username.
No, I didn't.
Because you couldn't. I'm not joking. It says, I changed my username.
Here I am, the hypocrite.
It was Nada.
Yeah.
Said, I changed my username because watching y'all freeze mid-sentence was giving dial-up internet energy. And then I wanted to say it faster like it wasn't a Rubik's Cube. Please.
You know what?
That's actually hilarious.
But the name is still beautiful, and we will continue to try and say it as perfectly.
Okay, try saying it now.
As much as it deserves to be said.
Try saying it now.
What? Nada. Oh, what? That's an easy one. Okay, come on. She probably just had it like written with like 3 or like a 4 for the A or something. I don't know. It might have been different.
Maybe.
But yeah, leave a comment like that if you want it to be read in a future episode.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna see y'all next week.
Bye.